What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about these things that we call smartphones and what they've replaced. So let's get into the video. See, when the first iPhone was released in 2007, which is arguably the first actual smartphone that we can kind of relate to today, it changed our lives by making many things into just one thing. So let's look at this a little bit more clearly from the top-down camera.
Alright guys, so the things I'm about to tell you are things that the iPhone has mostly replaced, but maybe some aspect of it hasn't been replaced yet, but most of these will be fully things that the phone has replaced. Alright, so we're going to start out with the flashlight. Now, it's not the brightest flashlight in the world, but I don't really ever remember using a weaker flashlight to go see where I'm going. Just a practical, normal flashlight. It's basically replaced that. Number 2 is the wallet. Now, it hasn't replaced the whole wallet. It hasn't replaced cash in a way, but it's replaced a lot of how we pay for things online, because lots of things we buy now are online. So the next thing is communication. So we have email, we have, instead of letters, we have our smartphones instead of home phones. So that's been replaced. It's even brought up some new ways of communication like FaceTime and social media that didn't even exist back then. Next we have the camera. Now it hasn't fully replaced the professional camera, but it's getting pretty dang close. It even replaced the place where we store all those memories, for like our photo album. It's replaced with an app called Photos. Alright, next we have the audio recorder. You probably don't use the audio recorder too much, but I'm actually using it right now. So it's basically replaced the audio recorder. Next we have the calculator. I think this is one of the things that it's fully replaced. Alright, next we have the tape measure. Now, if you didn't know this, the phone can be a tape measure with the new iOS 12 update. I'm not sure about Androids, but there's probably something out there for them too. You can actually measure things with your phone. Now, it's not fully accurate yet, but it's pretty close. So that's probably going to get better and better. Next thing is the level, which I thought was pretty funny because it's pretty massive. So that's cool. Then we have the phone book, which is basically replaced by the app Contacts. Pretty self-explanatory. We got the notes. We got the newspaper. We have books, every book you'd ever want. We got maps and compass. Any map from around the world as detailed as you could have it. Compass as accurate as any other compass. And then we have games. It's replaced most games. I mean, we don't play too many board games anymore. There's a reason for that, because the games on the phone are more fun. Next we have the radio, which is a little bit off screen, I'm sorry, but that's a radio up there. And then we have DVDs. We have movies all on our phones instead of DVDs. It's replaced the CD player with iTunes and podcasts and all those sort of audio things that we have. Alright, and now we can't forget the iPhone has replaced every single book, every single movie, every single educational video. Everything we use for education is now on our phone. So we don't no longer need dictionaries, encyclopedias, books, any of that. We have everything in basically an internet browser. Alright, so it's also replaced the calendar and how, for some people, if they don't wear watches, it tells them what time it is. So that's two pretty important things. Now it's even replaced some buildings. I only could think of one really good one, which is shopping. Instead of going to Walmart, mostly we just sit in our house and order it offline, and it arrives 2 days later. So it's definitely replacing that. Other than that, I couldn't think of anything else. So if you can think of anything it's replaced for you, or that you think it's replacing or replaced, comment it down below.
Alright, so some things the smartphone hasn't replaced, more of created, are things like social media. Now that's what a lot of people spend most of their time on their phones anyway. The average though is like 135 minutes per day. Obviously that could be way more or way less. Maybe you don't even have social media. But anywho, let me read an article real quick of the overall usage of our phones so you can see how long we use these things and see if it clarifies the amount of things it has replaced. According to a 2015 study, we check our phones on an average of 85 times a day. I feel like it's more than that, but that's what it says here. Multiple studies found that almost half of smartphone users, and there are millions of them worldwide, obviously, are glued to their screens for over 5 hours a day. That's almost a third of our walking life. Now, I had no idea that half of the population with smartphones are glued to their screens. I think it's a new trend, so... Alright guys, so I got a hot glue gun, and I got a phone, so let's try this.
Oh. It was at this moment that he knew. He f***ed up.
Break! This is really painful. Don't try this. Don't try this. Ow! Alright guys, so in conclusion, I think that when someone tells you you're using your phone way too much, they're right, but they're not 100% right, because they don't fully realize how many things the phone is. Because most of the people that will tell you that are older people, and they're not used to having all those things in one place, and they think when you're on that one thing, that you're spending your time on just one thing when you're actually spending your time on a bunch of different things. Now, just make sure you're actually doing things that are useful and beneficial to you, and don't waste your time doing dumb stuff on it. But anyway, I think that wraps up the video, so make sure to share this video, especially with people that say you spend time on your phone too much. This will kind of disprove them, but they're still probably right. Give that thumbs up if you liked it, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.